Hey everybody, welcome. My name is Laura Zentmeyer. I am a Platinum Executive of ASEA, which is a biotech and research company. I'm also certified as Regenerative Health Practitioner. Today we're going to be talking about redox signaling molecules and digestion. So let's begin by explaining what are redox signaling molecules. They are something that are in every single one of your cells, or at least they should be. Your mitochondria are making them every moment of the day. You could probably exist for 3 weeks without food and maybe 3 days without water, perhaps 3 minutes without oxygen. You can't last 3 seconds without your redox signaling molecules. As you age, you're making less and less. Once you get into your 20s, you're making about 10% less every single decade. So when you're older, you can get really depleted of this. And luckily, ASEA has figured out how to replicate these redox signaling molecules. This is a bioidentical product. So it's not technically a supplement. A supplement is something that your body doesn't make naturally, but you take it and in theory it helps you. This is a bioreplenishment. And so it's giving you back what you would be depleted of. And it's so fundamental in the healing process. That's why older people have more health challenges or take longer to recover than younger people. And how it works is it's going to amplify and clarify signals between and within cells. They're talking to each other better. It sort of wakes up the inner doctor in your cells and makes them go like, oh, we're supposed to really be doing it this way. It's going to boost antioxidants. So glutathione, superoxide dismutase, catalase, they go way, way up. And if you need them because it's all modulated, you have this innate wisdom, your body is so intelligent, it knows how much it wants. And so you never want to take artificially made glutathione. Those molecules are huge and they're not going to fit through the cell membranes all that easily. When your body makes it endogenously inside the cells, well, then they can really work. And so bottom line is when you have the right amount of antioxidants, you don't have to be a germaphobe. And then also, what I think is very exciting is the redox signaling molecules are going to turn on genes. And specifically, the genes are for your cardiac system, your immune system, your inflammatory system, your digestive system, and your hormone modulation. So let's just go through that again. So we're talking about digestion today. Turns on a gene to support the digestive system. Sometimes people have a problem in their gut because their immune system needs some support. This helps with the immune system genes. Sometimes they might have a problem with their bowels because there's some inflammation. This helps with the inflammatory response. And some people are just like, is it going to be really good for this specific instance? And I refer to what my good friend Gary Samuelson says, is a cell involved? Is a cell involved? It just makes your cells work better and heal faster. Every single health challenge involves cells. So that's Gary. He's the physicist who figured out how to stabilize these redox signaling molecules. And but if people are like, oh gosh, I really want to know, is it going to be good for this specific thing? Well, go to Google Scholar. Google Scholar is a research engine. Don't go to Google. Google is a search engine. Google Scholar is a collection of articles written by doctors and scientists, and they're publishing their double-blind placebo-controlled studies. And do a search for redox. Don't do a search for ASEA because we don't make any claims that this is a cure or treatment. We just say it's redox signaling molecules. It is certified on the bottle that these are redox signaling molecules. It's certified by an independent lab, and there's trillions of redox signaling molecules in here. And you just have to connect the dots. So type in redox, type in whatever health challenge you're wondering about, like the specific name of your problem. Thousands of articles are going to pop up. I just put in redox digestion because I am compliant. I am not naming any specific illnesses. And check it out. Within 0.13 seconds, about 580,000 results popped up. So that's nice. You know, let's get into some testimonials. I'm going to tell you about one of the very first digestive testimonial I came across. So there's a guy named James. James had some problems. James never wanted to leave his house because he didn't want to be far from the bathroom. James was afraid to eat anything that was not basically white bread or pasta or maybe a cracker. Everything hurt when he ate. And part of his problem, there are a lot of problems, but here's a little stomach diagram. So the food would go down the esophagus, go into the stomach. Well, the stomach has a very different terrain, a very different pH than the rest of your body. It's very acidic. Generally, the environment has a pH of about 2.4. The hydrochloric acid in it, 1.8. So very, very acidic. And you want it to be acidic because you need that to help you digest the food. And also, the acidic environment will help kill the bacteria. But you want that pH to remain in the stomach. You don't want it going back up the esophagus, and that was part of his problem. So if we zoom in here, there's a little sphincter that goes between the esophagus and the stomach. It's like a gate. It lets the food go in the stomach, and then it's supposed to close and not let the food and the gastric juices go back up. Well, his didn't close properly, and so he was getting the stomach acid up in his esophagus. That was very disruptive to his esophagus. It caused abnormal, scary cells there. And then everything was compounded because he had a liver disorder as well. He used to drink too much alcohol, and the healthy tissue of his liver was replaced with scar tissue. And the liver is so important. There's over 500 functions that your liver does. And so his was severely damaged. And from that particular challenge, they say you don't recover from that. You can kind of cope, but it's downhill. So anyway, digestive issues, esophagus issues, liver issues, and we got him on the ASEA. It really only took a few weeks. Everybody is different. Everybody has their own pace. For him, it was a few weeks. He was able to eat again. He could eat anything. He had the freedom to eat whatever he wanted. He had the freedom to leave the house, go wherever he wanted. He had the freedom to just enjoy his life. And it was an absolutely remarkable recovery. And when he went back to his doctors and he was all better, they were completely baffled, and they said, well, this is one of two things. He was saying, James was like, this is redox signaling molecules. And they were like, there's no way that any one product can do all of that. So they said, this is either a medical miracle, and what some of them were suggesting was maybe it was a misdiagnosis. Maybe he never even had any of those issues before. That's James's story. So, hooray. Here's another story with my friend Liz. So Liz, she had a problem where she couldn't eat gluten. Gluten is found in wheat and barley and rye. And it's a chronic problem. So she just wouldn't eat that, period, for decades. And that particular challenge is considered to be an autoimmune problem. Now, traditionally, people would think of autoimmune situations or challenges as cell miscommunication, right? The cells are attacking each other, and they shouldn't be. And it can understand how that could happen. So, your DNA right now, it's exactly as it was when you were a fetus and presumably much healthier. But as you age, it's kind of like you might need glasses. Well, same thing with your cells. it can be tricky to interpret information, to properly understand the signals that the cells are exchanging with each other. If you think of your DNA as the 26 letters of the alphabet, and all of a sudden you can't see the letters T or R or E when a cell is replicating or trying to follow the instructions of what it's supposed to be doing, it's like playing Wheel of Fortune. It's just kind of guessing. They're like, well, I think it says this, but the word friend, it looks like the word fiend if you don't have clear, clear signals. And so your immune system can get mixed up. It might make mistakes. That's one idea. As someone who's certified with regenerative health, I think parasites in general. I think your immune system is like, holy cow, there's something in there, some microscopic little creepy crawly critter. Doesn't belong here. It's an invader. Let's attack. Maybe that's happening. I also think it's very interesting that people who have this particular challenge and they can't eat gluten in the United States, but they go to Italy and they can eat all the pasta and bread that they want and they're fine. I kind of think, well, they have an intolerance to glyphosate. Glyphosate is a poison. It's an herbicide. It's massively used in the United States. I cringe when I go to the grocery store. I try to shop in the perimeter of the store where everything is super fresh. But then you walk by the cereal aisle and I'm just like, oh, there's so much glyphosate in those cereal boxes, so much Roundup in those boxes. And so some people are more resilient. Some people can handle it and others can't. Well, it doesn't really matter what the problem is. Is it cell communication? Guess what? ASEA clarifies and amplifies cellular communication, improves that. Is it parasites? Well, ASEA can help with that. I have people send me pictures of what it looks like when they go to the bathroom and but they're so excited. They're so excited to have these things not living in their body anymore. So that's great. Or is the problem, is it because they can't tolerate the pesticides that are put on our food? Well, guess what? ASEA is great at detoxing. I've had people, we've gotten rid of their lead poisoning, mercury poisoning, Agent Orange. It's not orange. Came out of their skin all gray and sludgy. But, that person had been walking around with Agent Orange in his system for decades. We got it out. This pulls out toxins. So it pulls out toxins, can deal with the parasites, can deal with cellular communication, whatever the issue is. It turns on genes for the digestive system. It helps. And everybody is different. It takes a different amount of time. Oh, so that person, Liz, she called me up a few weeks after she started the ASEA. She had the courage to try pizza. She had not had pizza for over 2 decades. She had pizza every night that week. She could eat anything that she wanted. She's good. Another little side story about Liz. She used to own a gym. She accidentally dropped a very heavy weight on her foot. She thought she broke her toes. She couldn't walk. She had to crawl up a flight of stairs to get to her, where is it? The Renew 28. This is the same product as this. This is just more concentrated. This heals you from the outside in. This heals you from the inside out on a systemic level. So she was going after this, put it on her foot, was thinking oh no, she's the mom of 2 small children. How is that going to go if she can't walk? She owns a gym. She was about to teach a class in a few hours, didn't think that she could walk. She was fine. In a couple of hours, she was totally, totally fine. So it all involves cells. And now here's another little random story about digestion and me. So my husband and I were on a date years ago. We went to a nice restaurant, had what I thought was a tasty meal, got food poisoning right there at the restaurant. Very, very quick reaction. I wanted to go home. I did not want to be out in public. And my husband was like, but I already bought tickets for the movie. And I'm like, but I want to go home. I think I'm just going to be camping out in the bathroom for the next 24 hours. I want to go home. And he's like, but I bought tickets for the movie already. And I'm like, oh no. And I always have this with me. This or the Redox Gold. This has 24 karat gold in it, serves as a catalyst, will upregulate the production of glutathione even more so, up to 280%. Ooh, amazing. This is what I had at the time though. So think of for the inflammatory response. This is what you're going to want. This basically broad spectrum, everything else, and anti-aging. And so I put a big gob of the goo all over my belly. I was fine. We went to the movies. I was okay. Everything was good. Okay, and there's just so many other stories, and I just wanted to let you know that a good tool is this website. So www.realredoxresults.com. It is password protected. The password is redox. And, I just love that word redox. It's a combination of the words reductants and oxidants. It's a contraction of that. And there's a book, One Disease Redox in Balance. Basically, the premise is every single health challenge, it's because there's an imbalance of the reductants and the oxidants. And the ASEA, it just restores that balance. And so anyway, if you go to that website, put in the password redox, there are all these symptoms that pop up because we are compliant. We don't name the names of diseases, but one of them is gut bowel health. And when you click on that, these 10 videos pop up. You could just spend days looking at all of these videos that are on this website. Alan Noble did a fabulous job creating it. And so anyway, there you go. Redox signaling molecules. They help with digestion and everything else that involves a cell. I hope that you enjoyed this presentation. Live long and prosper to infinity and beyond. And have a great day. Thanks for joining us.